I need to light a candle. Today I celebrate 10 years of my life in Europe. I came here to study English, but I stayed for love, I stayed for freedom, I stayed for so many other things, and I'm going to tell you all about it. This is everything that Europe taught me about identity, about belonging, about becoming. 16. Today is the 16th of April. The number 16 is called a karmic number. When it appears as an experience, sudden happenings can take place. In the tarot instructions, it is representing by lightning struck tower. It has the power to disrupt and cause circumstances to fall apart with loss and some humiliation. However, the wisdom of the 7, 1 plus 6, it is intelligence, scientific knowledge, and skill soon to bring recovery. If no effort is made to use this intelligence, the experience can be difficult. So that is very vague. But let's start with that, shall we? I thought moving to Europe was going to be a temporary thing. I was just going to go and I was going to come back, but here I am. Some places you just don't visit. Some places you're quietly invited. They quietly invite you to stay. And that's what happened. How did I change in those 10 years? Since I was a teenage girl arriving in Europe, that was very sad when I cried because I was lost. But eventually I found myself the way. I think my voice became calmer. My rhythm became slower. My idea of being successful changed because today I believe that success is doing something instead of accomplishing. The first lesson is solitude and inner voice. I used to have this voice, the voice that we all have, and whenever I was by myself, whenever I was alone, I remember Skyping my mom and talking to her for so many hours because I just could not be alone. Listening to that voice, solitude became something that was very natural to me, and solitude became a beautiful thing. It didn't become something to be alone. It didn't make me feel afraid any longer, but it made me feel safe. It made me feel like I could go deep and deep to understand more about myself and more about the world. Being a space to listen, a space to dream. Solitude became a safe space, and that's a beautiful thing that happened. After that, we have self-belief and inspired action. In Europe, I learned that everything and anything is possible. Even if you believe in yourself 0.1%, it's already enough. But you have to put in the work. To grow, you have to put in the work. You can't just be, if you believe in magic like I do, you have to put in the work to become what you want to become. You don't need to know, but you just need a little whisper of truth and courage to follow it. Then we have authenticity and expression. The fact that I could wear anything I wanted here, I think that I got to learn that being yourself is not only brave, but it's also necessary. And pretending to be somebody that you are not is actually more difficult than actually being yourself. You have to speak and you have to say no sometimes, even if it might be very difficult. You just have to say no sometimes so you can say yes to yourself. Then we have relationships, and that's one of the most wonderful things that happened in Europe because I got to meet people that were like me. You know, there are people there out there, people that are just like you. Even when you find people that are very, very similar to you, they cannot read your mind. And communication is one of the most important tools in life. If you meet people that share your values, share your rhythm, sometimes you have to go separate ways, and that's okay too. Loving doesn't always mean staying. I left addicted to sugar, and today I love eating dessert, the healthy desserts that I make, and I don't go a single day without eating dessert. I got to understand that we are what we eat, and we're not separate from nature. We are nature, and we thrive when we are nourished. Then we have nature and simplicity. Life outdoors is the best life, and that's what I learned here. I never used to be an outdoorsy person back home, but now I am. I love being outside. But usually I'm just thinking about going outside. Whenever I am not working or not doing something in the house, I'm thinking about going outside because I just love it too much. And I think that the sky has healed me more than any room could. And my bike has seen me cry more times than I don't know. There is just wisdom. Wisdom outside, wisdom in the wind, wisdom in the rain. Life outside is the best life. Because in reality, we are in the outside, but we're just kind of like covered, and we need that too. But whenever we are too long inside, it's time to go out there and play. Reconnecting with joy in childhood. I had to recreate the feeling of me walking through my grandfather's orange trees. You know, that feeling of nostalgia where everything feels sweet. Everything is sweet. The air smells sweet. That magic in the air. I think it's about remembering what joy feels like. Every time when I get into the zone, I connect to myself as a little girl. And I feel that in Europe, there are so many ways that I get into the zone and I reconnect myself to childhood, like playing music. We're very lucky here in Europe because it's very accessible to acquire instruments and everything, and I'm very lucky that I got to play music and write music with talented musicians. Art as an identity. I got to see how people in Europe are, how it's a process, and how people here embrace art as a way of being, how all the galleries and museums are free. I mean, in England, not in Europe in general. Art became a way of living because art is very present, and if you pay attention and if you dedicate yourself, you see how here art is very valued by people, and I love that. Language and self-expression. I love the way that Portuguese sounds, and I think I probably wouldn't have noticed that if I didn't stop speaking my language. And I started writing songs in Portuguese because I felt that the language was too pretty to be forgotten. I already speak in English here, but I feel that my language should be honored in my songs. And it feels like whenever I'm writing songs in Portuguese, it feels like I'm talking to little Bella, little B, little baby B. It's the younger version of me. It's the little believer in me, and the one that I'm learning how to protect. Europe just didn't change where I live, but Europe also changed me as a person. How I love, how I listen, how I talk to people. I tried to summarize a little bit of my experience here. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you. Bye bye.